In the previous video, the substring video, we used the operator project. And what I want to do here is kind of discuss a little bit about that, since it was kind of just briefly skipped over. Essentially, this is going to allow us to kind of reform the way our documents look if we want. And that includes, removing things if we want. It includes adding things if we want. It includes, like with substring, we kind of took off a piece of a string. It just really depends on what we want to do. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at our collection habs, and we're going to basically alter the structure. We're going to return an altered structure of it. We're not going to change the structure of it per se, but we're going to return an altered structure of it. So let's look at this here. We can see that we have, ID, best streak, creation date, days of failure, days of success, days so far, name, past streaks, and questions. Okay. So suppose I said, I want to look at, the ID, obviously, these are going to return regardless, but I want to look at the best streak. I'd like to look at the creation date. I'd like to look at the days of failure, the days of success, the days so far, and then the past streak. In fact, if you look past streaks, I should say, if you look at the name of the question, they're exactly the same, right? Okay. So what I can do here, and this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most basic examples of project. I can sit here and pass in the aggregate, and then we can use our project operator. And then we will start selecting the fields we want. So ID will automatically be included. So let's look at the best streak. Let's look at the creation date. And 1 means show it. And let's look at days of failure. Let's look at days of success. Let's look at days so far. Oops. And let's look at past streaks. And so the 1 means show us these fields, and you'll notice that the name and the question are gone. And of course, notice too that the ID is auto-populated. And so we see the best streak, we see the creation date, we see the days of failure, we see the days of success, we see the days so far, and we see the past streaks. We could take that very same query and we could say, let's suppose someone's like, I don't really care about the past streaks. I only want to know what the current streaks are, and I don't even care about the days so far. And finally, I don't care about the, let's say we don't even want to look at the best streaks. We just want to look at the days of success and the days of failure, and then the creation date. And you can see we could look at that as well. So what we've done here is we've actually built this is a sub-document here, but this result set is a collection of values based on this collection that return what we want, right? And so this is where this can be very useful. And we're going to use project for quite a few things upcoming, and that's the reason why I was like, I better highlight this so that you're familiar with it. But as you can see, we're not changing the actual structure of the document, but we are pulling pieces out of the document that we want. And as you saw with the substring, what we did with the document, again, we didn't change the fundamental document, just to show you. If I do db dot, I believe it was string crazy dot find, which it was ugly anyway, you'll notice that the structure of the document didn't change even though we were substringing things, but we did return a result set that had that altered structure. And so that can be very useful depending on what we're trying to do. We're not fundamentally changing the underlying document. We are, however, returning an altered form of the document depending on what we're going to do. So we're going to go through and we're going to use this project operator quite a bit. And that's just kind of some information about it. If you have more questions about it, you can check out the details on the MongoDB. It provides plenty of documentation on this, among other operations.